Alright, what is up, guys? We are back with Attack on Titan, chapter 109 guides. So we're starting off this chapter with Gabby and Falco going to Sasha's old home to see her family. Um, so yeah, let's see how that turns out. I'm very scared in terms of like what Gabby is going to do, so I'm really counting on Falco to be the one to be her anchor to kind of like, settle her down a little bit. All right, let's do this. Wait here just a moment. Okay. We can use that horse to escape. What are you talking about? We might have killed that jailer, but they'll realize we're gone. We need to leave this area. It'll be just as easy for them to find us if we move recklessly. I'm sure they have farmhands here. We can ask them to house us for a few days. I can't eat alongside a bunch of damn devils. Listen, you. Come in. I'll do all the talking. Just don't say anything stupid. But I think that's for the best for sure. Man, dude, look at all these kids here. Wow. Huh. Cause man, I just feel like we did we know that Sasha had like this like siblings to like this extent? Cause this is a pretty large family. Um. Anyway, so your kids ran away from home. What's wrong with you? A South Marleyan accent. Nice to meet you. We're siblings, and I'm Ben, and she's Mia. Some things happen, and we've run away from our parents. If there's anything that we can do, we'll do it. So please let us stay here for just a few days, please. Cut that out. No child ought to be bowing his head like that. You're welcome here at the blouse stables. Stay as many days as you need. Now come here and eat some breakfast. I love the South Marleyan accent, man. Some breakfast. Thank you very much. You must be tired. You ought to lie down after finishing that. Oh my god, the moment she patted Gabby's head and just seeing her eyes like shaded out a little bit, that's terrifying. And she just smacked her hand away. Uh Lisa, this child's ears sorry, you must have gone through a lot. No, sorry about my little sister. Thank you for the food. Yeah, I mean this must be absolutely horrible. Um, I mean just psychologically for Gabby. Delicious. This tastes great. Yeah, I mean look at her eyes, man. Yeah, I can only imagine. Especially because we know her situation, right? Um, just like the amount of shit that she's been fed her entire life, not just years, but her entire life. She's been fed a specific narrative, right? And for her entire life, that's what she's believed in. So now it's like you're telling her, her belief that she's been, so set and like stout in believing in that narrative is completely wrong. Like that's definitely gonna mess with someone's head, right? But I think ultimately this is a good situation for her, just to learn and to see, that these guys aren't that bad, and this is the best way to do it. Not in some, military kind of environment, within the walls or near the scouts, near Aaron or Levi or anyone like that. Just a normal family in the farm. This is the best way for her to really experience like um, how these people really are. Um, all right, so now we're back to Kiyomi. I would like to congratulate you on the success of your campaign against Marley. The leaders of Hizuru have nothing but praise for the bravery shown by the nation of Eldia. I'm honored by your words, but this victory would not have been possible without the strong bond of trust between our nations. Oh, Zach, I feel like we haven't seen him in a while, right? Interesting. I also want to thank you for continuing to meet with us despite the scrutiny this island now finds itself under. If anything is worthy of praise today, it is your actions. I apologize. Your welcoming party today is not worthy of you. No, a welcoming from the head of state himself is more than I deserve. Nice. And given that it was not the volunteers who answered our wireless call, I think I understand your position. Thank you for your consideration. All that said, welcome back to the most dangerous island in the world. Indeed, we are here today to see that danger in person after all. Then, is that the observation unit I've heard so much about? Yes, I believe it is the world's first flying boat made possible by the use of the iceberg stone as fuel. We're going to get a good look at the power to shake the earth. Interesting. Yeah, so really cool that they've already implemented the stones as kind of the thing that's going to be powering these machines. Um, Very interesting. But a plane, man, a goddamn plane. That's insane. Like who would have ever thought, at the beginning of this series, um, that we would have our characters flying in airships and airplanes, um, piloting ships as well. Like it's so cool. Hanji, you need to explain a forced evacuation of all residents from Shiganshina district. Wasn't it the corpse who made Reeves' company responsible for its resurrection or reconstruction? Is there any truth to the rumors that all the volunteers have been arrested? And what about the reports that Aaron Yeager, the man responsible for the victory over Eldia, is in prison? Hmm. How would they know all of this information, right? Um, right? Because I feel like that's like pretty like some information that you would want to keep like close to the chest, right? Or secret. Um, right? The fact that they know that these reporters know about the volunteers, Yelena and the others, and they know about what Aaron did as well in Marley. That's pretty wild. Not my department. This is tyrannical. Consult the military police. What do you say to the accusations that the military is amassing too much wealth from the outside world? Ask the MPs. Now let me through. Hanji, 4 years ago, the Survey Corps brought the truth to the people inside these walls. You showed us that our real enemies are the people in foreign lands and that the Titans are us. Yet Jaeger's victory has given us a future. Eldians now have a future where we can survive. That means the relationship between him and the Survey Corps matters to all Eldians. Hanji, you once said that you would trust the people with knowledge. Have you changed your stance on that? The situation has changed. Knowledge has a different meaning now that the walls are opened and we are connected to the world. I know you're in a tough spot, Hanji, so just look me in the eyes and tell me. Tell me I can trust you. It's interesting to see these journalists coming back into play into the story. Um, they helped in the uprising arc against the Reeves, and all that, and just seeing them once again coming back into play is really interesting. Um, Everything we do is for the sake of the Eldian people. I assume you leaked the rumors about Aaron. Okay, so someone actually tipped the reporters. Holger, Wim, Luis, you recruits, and Flouch. Why did you do this? Because Aaron ought to be freed. We haven't done anything wrong, only what we needed to do. We faced countless colossal enemies and grasped victory. That victory is the overwhelming power of the Titans to shake the earth. It secures our right to live. Eren saved the lives of every citizen of the new Eldian Empire. You mean the nation of Eldia. This victory of yours has given every army in the world the most pressing reason possible to combine their forces to attack our tiny little island. Um, and this victory of yours has given every army in the world. Okay. Does that not endanger our right to live? It does if we can't shake the earth. We never could have survived without power in the first place. Not on this tiny little island. There's no guarantee that this weapon will work as you think it will. To be frank, it's nothing more than a story someone told you. Only because you're keeping Eren locked up in a cage. It's really interesting to see Flouch um, taking up this stance because with Eren, um, obviously I'm not trying to say that characters can't change or anything like that, but we had he was adamantly against on the side of keeping Erwin Smith alive, um, as opposed to Armin. And I don't know. I feel like we just haven't really seen Floach and Aaron really converse too much. Um, but now I guess my big question is: this seems like I feel like this arc is already gonna be packed in terms with like things that need to happen and are going to happen, and I don't know if this will happen, but it almost feels like this could lead to like a civil war in the new nation of Eldia, which is also pretty cool. We have confirmation now that the Paradise Island is Eldia now, which is it's really really cool, man. You know, it's Eldia. I love it. Um, but yeah, because we have like these guys who are siding with Aaron, and they're calling for his release. Um, and I feel like a bit of the press as well is kind of wants to see Aaron be released as well. Um, right, like the guy who stopped in front of Hanji at the gate. Um, they seem to be pretty much on Aaron's side. Like, hey, he saved us, right? He saved hundreds of people. Um, he's given us a future that we can survive now. We don't have to live in fear of the Marlians, because of what Aaron did. Um, so I don't know if this will actually manifest into something huge on a grand scale, but God, if a civil war would happen between like if Floach of all people were to actually gather like more and more people behind this cause of wanting, of following Aaron, right? Um, if he could actually build, a big uh like almost like a rebellion, a big group, and then it seems like he would have the press on his side as well. Like that would be absolutely insane if we would have to deal with that on top of the entire world going against us as well, right? Um, that'd be so much to handle. Um, Anyway, can we really afford to waste time like this? Our great victory will be for naught at this rate. Aaron Yeager will lead this nation. You need to release him immediately. Wow. You know, you just might be right. In a certain sense, I've made the decision to see Zeke's plan through. The responsibility is all mine, which is why I can't allow any further insubordination. You will all be prosecuted for the crime of leaking information about Aaron, and you will be placed in disciplinary detention. Wow. So now all of a sudden, I don't think I don't think a civil war, because this information will get out as well, right? It has to. Um, Now I don't think a civil war is too far fetched. This is like a really like I don't want to say drastic, but this is a pretty like decisive move on Hanji's part, like putting her foot down and like driving like a clear, distinct line between these two sides of groups, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is a really smart choice. I understand her position, uh, because this is like, like I don't want to say like government secrets, but yeah, I guess so, right? And you can't just be going like all loosely just sharing it, with the press, right? It's important to keep those things close to your chest. So, In a way, yeah, he should get disciplined for leaking out that information, but I think this could be very dangerous. Um, anyway, happily, if that will lead humanity within the walls to victory. The stage always needs someone in this role. When one actor leaves, another jumps in to take his place. Break a leg, Hanji. I'm tired. No, I need to study. God, I feel bad for her, man. It does make you wonder, like, that's why I miss Irwin so much, man. Like seeing him in this position, how exciting would that have been to see Irwin in a position where he's dealing with essentially like a brand new world, right? Um, yeah, like having to be, diplomatic with foreign countries and stuff like that would have been fascinating to see Aaron in that position. Um, I feel bad for Hanji, man, because like I feel like this isn't her character, right? This isn't what she specializes in, so like she's definitely having like a lot of trouble with it. Um, so I sympathize with her. Is this cell one you've been in, Mikasa? What? No. I see. That's too bad. Oh, but I don't regret violating military law. The Survey Corps' goal is to win. That means rules and regulations can't be absolute, right? Stop, Luis. You're just going to get a longer sentence. Since that day when you saved my life, nothing's changed. You threw a titan to the ground with nothing but a human strength. I saw that and realized you can't save anyone without power. It's okay for us to fight against unjust violence. That's what I learned. You were saved too, weren't you? By Mr. Yeager. Also, that's a blast from the past, right? And this. And also, I would love to go back to that moment in the manga or in the anime and see if Luis is actually there. Like, has Luis always been in the cars from the very beginning? Right. That would be amazing if she was, but I kind of doubt it. Um, Nonetheless, it's cool because this is I feel like we've had this a few times recently, just like things that have happened, in the first arc, or even in the second arc, coming into play now. It's really cool. Since you saved me, I've wanted to get closer to you, even if just a little. So I. Oh, okay. So is Ishiyama kind of showing that this is kind of a similar situation to with Aaron and Mikasa? Why did you join the Survey Corps, Mikasa? If you did it for Mr. Yeager, then you should free. There's one thing I can tell you: keep your mouth shut. And she's doing the stance too, man. Even the like the stance takes me back too. Takes me back to a time when everything was just so much simpler for these characters, right? It's okay now. You can relax. Jeez. Look at Aaron's eyes in this flashback. Good lord. Like just there's absolutely like no white in it. Like I'm trying to think, is it just like blood on his eyes, or no, I just think that's just how Isayama just drew them. Wow. It's almost like zombie-ish, right? Like I don't know, like that, like it's not Aaron in that moment. Good lord. Again, man, Isayama is just so good with his eyes, man. In my opinion, I think the best eyes in the industry, man. It's so good what he can do with them. How are you finding your room? It has a wonderful view. If only these iron bars weren't in the way. As I've said many times before, we will not forget the debt of honor Eldia owes to the volunteers. You, in particular, the meticulous records you kept and submitted of your actions showed us how much you valued our faith in each other. But then I started thinking, why were you trying so desperately to look squeaky clean? You placed yourself under strict management, even attaching soldiers to yourself who would keep watch. Take this day, the banquet 10 months ago celebrating the opening of the rail system in the Trust District. At the last minute, the guard assigned to you changed to Forster. Forster? Yeah, I guess. And so far, yeah, I'm just gonna go with Forster. He accompanied you to your lodgings just as the festivities were winding down, and now he's being detained for the crime of divulging secret information. So there's a link.